Thomas Jefferson, the primary author of the Declaration of Independence, who has long been revered for writing and fighting for the ideal that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. But recently, he's been repeatedly condemned for racism. What changed? Let's look at just facts. The abrupt change in attitude towards Thomas Jefferson is rooted in a misunderstanding of Jefferson's ideas and observations. Studying the man in his own words, we learn that Jefferson hated slavery and thought it makes people as incapable as children by demoralizing them. Hundreds of professors and students at the University of Virginia, which was founded by Jefferson, have taken his words out of context to make it seem like he said blacks are as incapable as children. But in reality, Jefferson wrote that he had no doubt that black people not raised in slavery would be good citizens. In the absence of modern scientific data, Jefferson theorized that blacks may be inferior to whites, but he also said that he wished to see a complete refutation of this view and find that black and white people are on a par. Jefferson's critics often fail to mention this and thereby twist his views beyond recognition. Why then did Jefferson own slaves? Well, he was born into a slaveholding family and inherited about 40 slaves when he was only 14 years old because his father died. He later inherited slaves from his father-in-law and purchased about 20 slaves in order to reunite families and fulfill labor needs. Jefferson only freed 10 slaves. Why? He had heard about slaves who were freed and suffered greatly, which accorded with his view that slavery robbed people of the self-reliance needed to survive in that era. Thus, Jefferson likely felt trapped between his disdain for slavery and the hard realities of life at the time. To that effect, he wrote, "I can say with conscious truth that there is not a man on earth who would sacrifice more than I would to relieve us from this heavy reproach in any practicable way." Jefferson and numerous other founders were unique in their opposition to slavery, despite it being a widely accepted practice across cultures throughout much of history. Jefferson tried to end slavery multiple times throughout his career, and he marveled at the hypocrisy of the politician who fights for liberty one day and the next inflicts on fellow men a bondage 1 hour of which is fraught with more misery than ages of that which he rose in rebellion to oppose. In recent years, the Democratic Party has distanced itself from Jefferson, but its official history page glorifies Woodrow Wilson, a staunch segregationist and Ku Klux Klan supporter. Numerous University of Virginia faculty and students have vilified and protested Jefferson, but no one seems to speak out when the school celebrates Darwin Day, even though Charles Darwin insisted that blacks were evolutionarily inferior to whites. In light of all this, it seems intellectually dishonest and hypocritical to single out Thomas Jefferson, of all people, as a racist. I'm Amanda Reed Sheik, here with Just Facts. For thorough documentation of every fact in this video, read the article Jefferson, Racism, and Slavery at justfactsdaily.com.